tonight, loved ones are remembering the life of 17-year-old Jada Sers, the Milford Mill Academy student gunned down in southwest Baltimore 2 weeks ago today, and she died this week at the University of Maryland Medical Center.
With an entire life ahead of her, but sadly, it all got cut short. This was the Friday 2 weeks ago, just after midnight on Lyndhurst Street, the 700 block that's close to Edmondson Village. She was shot. Police have been tight-lipped about their investigation. They haven't announced any arrests.
Baltimore County first responders descended on a home in the 4100 block of Bald Eagle Court just before 9 o'clock this morning. Inside, they found Shanika Hersey and her boyfriend, Stephen Campbell. They were both dead and suffering some sort of upper body trauma in the home at which they had lived. One neighbor says she thinks she heard the sound of 9 to 10 gunshots around 4 o'clock this morning.
After that, I just turned my light off like I didn't know, and I didn't think to call. Like I wasn't really sure of what it was.
Neighbors are saddened by the loss of a young and promising life.
It's a sad thing. They heard the gunshots, and we didn't know what happened, so we had to wait to find out. But then we came to find out that it was a young kid that, was hurt real bad. But it's even worse now because we found out that the kid has just transitioned.
Yo, what it is, people, we is back. Another day on Keep It G News. And they always in Baltimore to talk about a bizarre situation. Now, before I get in this video, I want to say rest in peace and my condolences to all families involved because this is crazy. I showed y'all 2 different investigations in the beginning of this video. But what you're going to find out is that these investigations or these situations or these murders, however you want to characterize it, are all connected. You understand? 9 years apart. They all connected. In this video, I'm going to make the connection for y'all. So, we're dealing with 2 situations where they were considered domestic situations. In the deaths of Shanika Hersey and Stephen Campbell that happened 9 years ago when, what's that, 2017. And the death of Jada Sers that happened a couple weeks ago in 2026. And I'm going to show you the connection. So like I said, I want to give my thoughts and condolences to the families, the victims, and the suspects, because in this situation, y'all know how it goes. Nobody wins. But before I get too far in this, like I said, we're going to talk about 2 situations. I want to talk about the death of Stephen Campbell and Shanika Hersey first.
Man is behind bars tonight accused of murdering his estranged wife and her boyfriend. 36-year-old Shanika Hersey and Stephen Campbell were gunned down in her Randallstown home. WJC is live at Baltimore County Police Headquarters. Rick Ritter has the bombshell charging documents that were just released. Rick.
Well, Vic, the documents are chilling to say the least. We now know how the couple was killed, who tipped off police, and why a protective order had been filed. It's a monstrous crime that left 36-year-old Shanika Hersey and Stephen Campbell dead after the 2 were gunned down in her Randallstown home. In a handwritten letter, Shanika says she was choked up against a car by Dominic in Howard County. And she says he told her, quote, "I'm going to kill you."
They recently separated, and as their separation progressed, so did the deterioration of this relationship. Mr. Hersey is the responsible party for the murders of his ex-wife and for Mr. Campbell.
found the couple deceased on an upstairs bed and say they suffered multiple gunshot wounds. Police say a concerned friend observed a white pickup truck outside the home and knew it belonged to Dominic.
He knows that there is this protective order against him and knows that he should not be there.
Inside the car, he found the couple's children and told him, quote, "Mommy and Steven are dead. Daddy is inside." When the friend rang the doorbell, Dominic answered and said he was dropping off bags for their children and found the couple dead. The friend immediately called 911. Documents state Dominic's girlfriend woke up the morning of the murder and noticed he was gone and thought he would do something bad because he had been so upset about the custody dispute with Shanika. That's when she texted him and said, quote, "Why, babes, plotting evil does not repay evil." The 43-year-old was on scene that morning when police arrived and was later tracked down and charged with the gruesome murder.
I don't be knowing what's going on. I know everybody's situation different. But what you hear in this situation, that it was domestic in nature. Y'all heard some of the allegations. She just filed a protection order, as y'all can see, days before the murder occurred. She felt it coming. But y'all, in our community, and I'm not blaming nobody for this, because sometimes, people are so deceptive. They can hide their true intentions. They can hide their true character. But every now and then, it shows in ladies and men when you see characteristics in a person that you don't necessarily align with, or they got a violent streak that is uncontrollable, you got to exit out way before you get to a point where there's kids involved. Now, you heard in this situation, they was killed while the kids was in the house. And I want to highlight that part because that brings on the bigger conversation of what I really want to talk about is how violence in domestic situations can be inherited. Because I think that's what may have happened in this case. And as black men and black women, while we moving through life, you got to make sure whoever you decide to deal with on any level, especially romantically, that you know what's going on in this person's background, in this person's history, this person's family. This is how diseases get transferred, and they could have been preventable. I'm talking about diseases to the children, things like sickle cell and stuff like that, because you might carry the trait and you dealing with somebody on an intimate level, not knowing they carry the trait because you never had the conversation. Sickle cell, and they're going to have to go through that all through their life, and that can be attributed to the decision makings of the parents. And we never factor this in. Now, when you got a domestic violence situation like this, where she knew it was coming because he threatened her. I ain't gonna say in our community and relationships in general, we got a habit of overlooking situations because we like a person or we love a person or we just characterize it as that's who they are. But I told y'all before, if that's who you is, it don't line with who I am, then we can't be nothing. You understand? Like, at this day and age, we can't make excuses for people. Accept people for who they are, no matter how much you like them. Because a lot of these situations can be preventable. And I'm not just talking about this, I'm just talking about overall. Because we're seeing an influx in domestic violence situations that turn deadly. But rest in peace to Shanika. Rest in peace to Steven. Because no one should be gunned down just because they want to separate in a relationship. And I get it, you deal with a person to a certain level or a certain extent or a certain length of time. And a lot come with that. Financial situations come with that. Now, to my knowledge, based off of what they're saying, it was a dispute over the children. But if you're willing to kill about a relationship, should you ever even have custody of the children? Let me know how y'all feel about that in the comments. But that was 9 years ago, y'all, in 2017. Fast forward to 2026, a couple weeks ago, we got the death of Jada Sers.
Police identified the shooting victim as 17-year-old Jada Sers. We've learned she was a senior at Milford Mill Academy, a student athlete at the high school. Sers was shot July 31st on Lyndhurst Street near Gelston Drive in southwest Baltimore. She remained in the hospital 2 weeks before dying from her injuries. Police have released few details about their investigation. On social media, her family posted this message. It reads in part, "Despite our best efforts and earnest prayers, we mournfully announce the passing of Jada Sers. We wish to express our deepest gratitude to everyone who extended themselves in support of Jada and our family through this difficult time." Now, police again tell us that they are searching for anyone involved, and they are also trying to determine a motive.
Jada Sers lost her life at 17 years old. I'm going to say 17 years young. You know, because I was that age before, and at 17, 18, you do think you're old. But as you get older and experience life, you realize how young and naive you really are in those ages. I'm talking about 17 to 25. You understand? Like at that age, you start feeling yourself. You think you're grown, but you still a kid. It's still a lot to work on in life, and that goes on throughout your whole life. But at 17 years old, at the time she was murdered, there was no suspects, at least to the public. I think people more knowledgeable and close to the situation already had their prime suspect. They already had their number one suspect. But as the investigation moved on, you find out the number one suspect was Christian Hersey.
The U.S. Marshals Service now joining the search and adding to the reward for information that will lead to the arrest of 18-year-old Christian Hersey. Investigators hopeful the added resources and funds will land him in custody. Federal agents with the U.S. Marshals Service now joining the search for 18-year-old Christian Hersey, sitting down with Maryland's Most Wanted to discuss the case.
The United States Marshals has joined the search for 18-year-old Christian Hersey.
According to court documents obtained by Maryland's Most Wanted, a warrant was issued for Hersey's arrest after investigators said they believed it was him who was captured on surveillance shooting 17-year-old Jada Sers outside of a home on Lyndhurst Street in southwest Baltimore, July 31st.
All right, getting 709 Lyndhurst for the discharges. Caller heard gunshots and people screaming. 17-year-old female shot.
In court documents, investigators wrote responding officers found Sers in the living room of the home with a gunshot wound to her throat and abdomen.
Wait away for a minute.
Sers was rushed to shock trauma, where she died 2 weeks later, her family on their final moments together.
We were there together. We transformed that hospital into a living room, and we were there singing and praying.
The family also revealing more about Sers, a student athlete at Milford Mill Academy, a member of the National Honor Society, vice president of the school's Student Government Association, and loved by many.
Jada loves her family, Jada loves her friends, and we love her back.
Now, a week after Sers' death, Baltimore Police Commissioner Richard Worley naming Christian Hersey as the suspect wanted in the case and a more than $11,000 reward.
Also, just give a fair warning to anybody who is helping him stay hidden or helping him to escape. We will prosecute you as well.
The whereabouts of Hersey are currently unknown.
The U.S. Marshals Service walking us through the latest on the investigation. According to court documents, the shooting was caught on private surveillance. Detectives relying on that footage as well as other video evidence and witness statements to name Hersey, Sers' ex-boyfriend, as the suspect in the case. Here, writing those who knew Sers informed investigators Hersey and Sers had been involved in a recent personal domestic incident.
According to facts gathered during the investigation, Hersey and the victim were allegedly involved in a domestic incident that led to the breakup.
In court documents, investigators wrote surveillance captured Sers and a man talking on the front porch of the home where a gathering was taking place, and a male suspect and another female standing just outside the fenced-in yard. Investigators said when Sers attempted to exit through the gate, the male suspect began shooting at her. The victim was struck at least twice.
Based upon witness statements and surveillance footage, investigators were able to obtain a warrant for Hersey's arrest.
A warrant was issued for Hersey's arrest the following day, but his whereabouts remain unknown. Local, state, and federal resources now being dedicated to tracking him down, and a reward of more than $11,000 on the table.
Returning to the viewers of Maryland's Most Wanted, anytime you have an individual involved in a crime of passion who is said to be armed and dangerous, there's always the concern for public safety. And so we need to do everything we can to work with the community to locate this fugitive and safely take him off the streets.
I asked. Hersey does not have a criminal history. Again, investigators warning he should be considered armed and dangerous. Take a good look. Investigators say he stands at about 5'10" and weighs approximately 140 pounds. If you have any information regarding his whereabouts, you're asked to contact Baltimore Police, Metro Crime Stoppers, or the U.S. Marshal Service. That number right here, 202-819-5058. Remember, if you have any information, you can always remain anonymous.
Now, if you hear the last names to both these guys, you got Dominic Hersey, which is the father of Christian Hersey. Both of these situations ended the same way, where the father murdered his ex-wife and her boyfriend, and his son 9 years later, which means he would have to have been what? I think he was 18 when he got caught, or 18 when all this transpired. 11 years ago, what? That puts him at 7 years old when his father committed the murder of his ex-wife. And that's why I said some of these things, though not passed down through genetics, domestic violence a lot of time is inherited. And if we start doing our due diligence, and I'm not blaming nobody, I'm just making this broadly because I think this is a problem where we deal with people and don't ask pertinent questions. We just deal with them because we like them, or we love them, or we like something about them. But no, we got to start digging into family traits, family histories. You know, what have your family been through? Is there any diseases hereditarily that happens in your family? You understand? Because these things matter. There's been studies done that shows a connection between domestic violence and how it can be violence in the house, and the child grows up thinking it's okay to beat on women, thinking it's okay to disrespect women, and so on and so forth. And they go both ways, men and female. But before I get too far in the death of Jada Sers, I want y'all to listen to a conversation that I'm not sure the context or the date of when this conversation took place, but it was between Christian and what it sounds like. He went on a family trip, and it's crazy the family embraced this boy, with Jada and her family on some type of cruise, or they was in Miami. And I want y'all to listen to this conversation that got recorded by somebody that was there.
But the oldest brother knew, the sisters knew, the fucking, like, now everybody knew, like her mother, like the whole family knew, I'm not gonna lie.
So what they do?
They ain't do shit. They ain't ready to do shit to me, but I'm saying though, like,
they don't like you. What they say? Yeah.
She didn't say fuck with a nigga right now. You feel me?
What did you find out last night? They said that you was saying you didn't give a fuck if she found out because you don't like her.
No, I definitely never said that. But I ain't gonna lie to you, like, right now right now I don't give a fuck. Like, I ain't really hurt. Only cause, like, when her family
they said she cheated before and that's why you doing it now.
No, I haven't. She ain't never cheated on me.
She never cheated on you?
No.
What the fuck is wrong with you? That's why we stopped talking to her because of that.
Hold up. Who told you that before? She probably did. I don't know. So it's like,
I forgot who told me that.
Who told you that?
They said that you said that. She don't look like she and that's why.
Yo, I don't even be talking that.
They said that you said that, and that's why you're doing what you're doing now. And they said that's why you don't like her for, and that you don't care if she find out. But she doesn't look like the type to cheat on you anyway. Yeah, she like you. So we felt bad, and we stopped talking to you.
No, I ain't gonna lie to you. She definitely.
Wait, so what did she say to you,
Jada? What did she say to me?
Jada.
She was just like, I'm not fucking with you, little boy. Like, she was like, I was just like.
When she find out?
I ain't gonna lie, I think she found out on a day, like this morning or some shit.
Who told her?
I ain't like her sisters probably told her and shit. Like,
so you just been on here by yourself?
Nah, I walked on with them. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, we walked on and shit. I was with them and shit. And like, shit was cool at first. But then she started crying from there. So I'm like, I want to take like, why you crying? Like, you feel me? She's like getting
There's Jada. She looks so cute. She looks so cute. You're a pussy.
Huh?
Yeah, you're don't take that the wrong way, but you're a pussy. Oh, I told him he's a pussy.
He's a bitch.
Hi, Jada. Did y'all know about it? We found out like Day before, either yesterday or day before yesterday. It was by Ebony, and she said she was gonna tell you. So
We was with Ebony.
we was waiting for Ebony to tell you.
She's dark skinned with blonde hair.
Can you go away real quick?
Bro, I'm not moving. Y'all gonna move away.
Alright, see y'all coming.
I'm ready to say, like, it ain't gonna be
I heard that they fucked.
Hold up, though. I didn't fuck.
Shut the fuck up. Go away. Go away. Alright, let me talk.
Just let y'all do like this.
Nah, I'm not trying to hear all that. Go away. Go away. No, alright, come here.
Do you know where Angie and them is at?
Only person I seen to was
Yo, this is secret with me.
yeah, and I said, go get your boo, right? Like this, please.
Don't
You already know. Wait, who told you? My siblings. They said
you was in the room with your brother?
my sibling, his dumb ass, he was drunk as fuck. He went to my brother's friend and was like, yo, I've been drinking some shit, da with this girl, and she brought her mouth. And his dumb ass thought he wasn't going to tell my siblings, so my siblings fell down. And they wasn't trying to tell me until like later because they didn't want me to go on my trip. They told me this morning, it was like, my brother pressed him and was like, why should he beat the shit out of him right now and all of this? And he told on his text saying, I used to call him though.
Wait, but why are you trying to tell you right now?
That's what I'm saying. He just keep lying, and it's like I already fucking know. And I brought you on my family.
That's
trip.
what I was saying.
I thought it was two different.
I thought it was his family and your family, but it got even worse when I found out he was sleeping with your brother. Let's keep walking.
Like, what the fuck? And then I heard she fucked two other niggas. You just.
She did.
And he knew that too, so you just fucking this dirty bitch.
And she had to fuck another boy.
Like, too dirty as shit. Like, I just would have slept the shit out of her.
You know that boy with the Goyard boy?
Him?
She was fucking with him last night. After she was trying to flirt with another nigga in her room. Because the other nigga in her room was like, I'm gonna fuck a bad bitch. I'm just gonna fuck a bad bitch. He was like, no, you can't.
So y'all found out from Ebony?
Yeah, we actually down at the table. It was Ebony. And Ebony said she was, because everybody was like, all right, fuck that. Who's gonna tell her? Because it was like, everybody didn't want to tell you to the end because nobody wanted to ruin your trip. When you were posting, you looked so happy, and then like it was just him in the background. Like I don't know if you peeped it, but I tried to give you a sign when we was in the elevator with me, you, your boyfriend, and our grandma. We was like, oh, hi Jada, and then we looked at him like,
I'm gonna pee.
You gotta look. You gotta look up.
You gotta look up.
Yeah, Ebony, when we were talking, we was like, okay, so who's gonna tell her? We was like, we feel so bad. That's why we stopped talking.
Yeah, that's why we stopped talking to
Tay
when we found out.
We have not been in her room since.
She's dirty as shit.
Yeah. Because what my thing was, what another bitch do with her pussy is not my business, but when if you know she has a girlfriend, like you know this nigga has a girlfriend and you're fucking
happy.
him. This is what I hate when back home, because people actually do this to us.
Where are y'all from? We're from Atlanta.
We're from Atlanta. People do this to us, so we actually know how it feels to just find out that your nigga's fucking another bitch.
Yeah, so we stopped talking to her.
Yeah.
Because, nigga, I'll be going fucking ballistic. I don't know how you still around him just saying shut the fuck up. I would have started swinging. He keeps following me.
Girl, I would have got kicked off. I would have been on a no sale. He thinks he's talking about, like, he thinks it's a drunk thing. That just because he was drunk.
Yeah, he said it was a drunk one night thing. That's not an excuse. So, what did he say when he came over?
He was just like,
he was like, yo, your friend
running my mouth.
I was like, who's our friend? It was like, Tay, we was like, we don't talk to him after we found out what y'all did. And he was like,
bro. He was like, bro, her family found out.
Her family found out.
Her brother.
I was like, what her mom said? He was like, we fucked with him. They all do not like him. But, I mean, they're not going to just say fuck him because we brought him on his trip. So after the trip, he's done.
Yeah.
But they all...
Didn't y'all pay for him too?
My brother paid for half of his trip. Paid for all his excursions.
Your brother would be
They said the older brother didn't care. He said the older brother didn't care. That's the younger brother did.
Your brother would be in the right if he died.
Nah, wait till you get back home before they beat you. Yeah. Because if you do that now, or Miami, you're not
in the video
no more. But yeah, girl, when we found out that happened, we stopped talking to her.
I was so sad.
Now, I don't really know the context of that conversation. It sounded like to me he got caught cheating while he was in Florida and the family knew about it and Jada ain't want nothing to do with him. That's basically what I got from that. If you listen to it more in depth, you might get something else from it. But I wanted y'all to hear that because it shows y'all the mentality of Christian and how he thought. You understand? Like, if you cheat on a female, and I don't know if this is why she separated, but let's just say this is the reason, or this is partly the reason, or this contributed. How you gonna be mad? How you gonna be mad that you got caught cheating and the girl that trusted you, you know, the girl that looked to you for comfort, decided that I can't do this, I don't want nothing else out you, I'm backing away from it. How you get mad about that? And as young people, you gotta realize, man, like, yo, these are two very young people. Jada Sers was 17 years old when she lost her life. Christian was 18 years old when he ultimately lost his life because he became a suspect in this murder. And when the police was crashing down on him, took his life.
The suspect wanted for the murder of his ex-girlfriend is pronounced dead. Sources with knowledge of the investigation telling Fox 45 News the scene unfolded at a house on Lawnwood Circle near Windsor Mill Road Thursday night. Then Friday, Baltimore City Police announced 18-year-old Christian Hersey is believed to have taken his own life while they were attempting to serve a search and seizure warrant at that house. Just hours after announcing Hersey was wanted for the murder of 17-year-old Jada Sers, who was gunned down July 31st outside a house on Lyndhurst Street, we now know Baltimore City Police homicide detectives, along with the Baltimore County Police Department's SWAT team, were moving in on a home in Baltimore County where the suspect was believed to be. The department detailing what happened, saying as officers entered the home Thursday at about 8:30 that night, they heard a single gunshot coming from the basement. And that's where police say they found Hersey suffering from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. He was pronounced dead at the scene.
Now you got two families suffering over what can be considered puppy love, which means it's not really real. You understand? At 18 years old, you got a whole life ahead of you. Why would you take this girl's life, man? Like, at 18 years old, you don't even really know what life is about. You ain't even experienced real love. You still got years to move on. Years. But now you got two young people killed over something that more than likely was very avoidable. Very avoidable. Especially if people knew what he had in his background, what he had in his history. If they knew that, and I'm not saying they didn't know, but if they did, you got to take that serious. When you find out that this boy who you dealing with, father ultimately killed his ex-wife or a girlfriend and was involved in that level of domestic violence, yo, you got to back away from it, yo. Because like I said, studies has been done and it shows there is a connection. And though it's not 100%, I think it's worth taking into account before you move forward with any relationship, especially as a young child. Because that's what ultimately both these people were. But unlike in Dominic Hersey's case, he ended up catching life in prison. His son couldn't do life in prison. He ended up killing himself. And y'all know how I feel about that. Be willing to stand on any decision you make. And this is 2026, y'all. It's damn near impossible to get away with murder. There's ring cameras everywhere. Especially in Baltimore, it's heavily surveilled. And if you're not willing to stand on your decision making, if it ever come to a point where you think you in a position where you got to take a person's life, if you're not willing to stand on it for the rest of your life, then don't stand on it at all. It ain't worth it. But let me know how y'all feel about this in the comments. I just thought this was something to highlight because it's always a lesson that can be learned no matter how tragic the situation is. And I want to give my condolences and thoughts to these families again because nobody wins. I'm sure Jada Sers' family feel like justice was stolen from them because from what I understand, they knew he was number one suspect, prime suspect, as soon as it happened. You listen to the details, it sounds like he did it around people. And now when it comes time for him to face justice for his decision making, see how he went out.